Meanwhile, SABC News International editor Sophie Mokoena has more on this upcoming visit to the United States. And let's cross to her now. Sophie, good morning. And of course, we heard from the US President himself, Donald Trump, about this South African leadership delegation that he is expecting. So one would say it is not too soon, given what has happened between the US and South Africa, with the latest in that series of events being the 49 South Africans called refugees by the United States who arrived there this week.
Yes, you are correct. This happens at a time where the issue of the white Afrikaners who have gone to the United States of America seeking refugee is still a topical issue. But I think this visit comes also at a time where South Africa is now ready to meet with the United States of America at the high level. We know that last week on Friday, the Deputy Minister of International Relations, Alvin Brothes, spoke to his U.S. counterparts. Much as they spoke about this issue of the Afrikaners, that was the also opportunity to continue the discussion about the two leaders meeting at high level. And I think the main issue here will be the bilateral talks in relation to trade and investment. Of course, they will touch on the global issues such as the war in Ukraine, the conflict in the Middle East, and I think the issue of the Afrikaners will not really be high on the agenda, much as for media and many people of interest will be that issue. We know that the officials at the embassy of the U.S. indicated that the South African delegation should not approach the talks on a basis of trying to correct the U.S. president, but rather focus on what South Africa and the U.S. can do to strengthen the relations.
Which sounds a bit strange, because why wouldn't you correct incorrect perceptions by the United States president? And one would think, Sophie, given how Trump has moved lately with regard to Israel, him securing the release of one of the hostages, a U.S.-Israeli citizen, and seemingly through direct contact with Hamas. Is there a signal of some sort of change in the posture and not the relations per se, but I suppose the posture between the President Donald Trump and his Israeli counterpart Netanyahu?
I think there is tension between the two. However, we are told at all times that no American president at any time will turn against Israel. It is a long-standing relationship based on the economic might of the U.S., so much that we know that at some point in time, that's exactly what former President Bush of the U.S. told the former South African president that when he was trying to talk to him about the issue of Palestine, that he can assist on everything and many other issues, but the issue of Palestine, there's no way U.S. will turn, or no sitting U.S. president will turn against Israel. And I think it is going to be the same, much as the two have an issue. And I think it's because Trump is disappointed. Remember, he had promised that when he gets into office, the war will end in Gaza. He has also promised that the war will end in Ukraine. On Ukraine, it's much better because South Africa and the U.S. do agree that the time has come for that war to end. So there are issues where they agree, but there will be issues where they disagree, as we know that since 1994, all the sitting leaders of South Africa, there were times where South Africa wouldn't agree with the U.S., but they would tend to focus on what they agreed on, even though with Trump the relationship is very, very frosty.
Sophie Mokoena, SABC News International editor, speaking to us there.